Good morning, everybody. I thought I'd give you guys a little update on everything that's been happening here at the farm this year. It's been really busy. If you kind of followed along on our Instagram page last year, you know that we had one large 50 by 100 foot bed that we used for cut flowers. That was our very first growing year in 2023, and we were really just kind of testing things out. And then this year we've added a lot. So I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a tour to see what we've been up to, so you can have a look around. And I'm gonna do a longer video soon with, kind of individual projects that we've done over the year. But today I thought I'd give a little bit of an overview and let you see what I'm working on today. So this is behind me, the annual patch that we put in last year. We actually had to shift it a bit because when I looked at it on Google Maps, I realized it was very crooked to the road. And that made me a little crazy. And I knew that all the other beds had to be sort of aligned with this one. And so it was really important to me that I got this one as square as I could to the road, so that everything else that we put in after this was also going to be pretty square. So that's the annual bed. So it's already actually done for the year. We've pulled up all the plants and we've actually raised it up. So I don't know if you can see from here, we put in a driveway about a month and a half ago that goes from the road and comes down the tree line here. So prior to that driveway, we were using my parents' driveway. So their house is here on this property and their driveway is along the opposite tree line, but I was having to drive across their lawn to get my vehicle in here. And if we were having to pick flowers and whatnot, it was starting to make a bit of a mess of their lawn. So we needed our own space. But the nice thing about that was that it also brought up a lot of dirt. So we had these 7 or 8 huge piles of dirt about the size of this guy back here. I guess you can't really see him from here. There's a big pile of dirt back over my head. So that was able to fill up this garden here quite a bit and raise it up. This year we had a lot of rain, so there were just puddles in the aisles of this garden all season long. And we didn't want that happening again this year. So then the other big patch that we put in this year was our shrub patch. This is going to be another 50 by 100. We have one row left down here that we're going to do next year. I'm just not entirely sure what I want to put in there just yet. So that will be a little bit larger. So right now it's one row short of 50 by 100. We've got a whole bunch of shrubs that just got put in this year, so they're still establishing, but after a couple of years, we're hoping that we can do a lot of cutting off of this and get most of our greenery from this patch here. The next patch that we put in this year was our perennial patch. So I'll walk you over to that space. So the perennial patch is right beside the annual patch. And it's also 50 by 100. We haven't torn anything up yet from this. So you can see behind me here. So another 50 by 100. So this is our annual patch here. And our 50 by 100 perennial patch. So I wonder if I can, I can't flip you around while I'm talking. What do we have in here? We have some scabiosas, which actually are still looking so pretty. I don't know if I can bring you in to show you. We've already had our first frost, but we've got this guy. He's a little frostbitten, but we've got these beautiful scabiosas, and so many of them have sort of bloomed since the frost, and they still look so happy. We've had really warm weather. Look at this guy. He's just massive. So pretty. We've also got thistle, both blue and white thistle growing, and then just a whole bunch of perennials all the way down. All of our tarps from the annual bed are still, some of them are still waiting to be folded and put away for the winter. We've got some shrubs that still need to be planted. They're starting to turn a little bit of a fall yellow color. So they need to get into the ground. And then our final patch is the peony patch that we planted. Actually, we did plant this out last year. It's 50 by 50. It's all peonies now, but last year, this first row was actually irises and tulips. So we let the irises grow out here this year so that they could spread And we recently just dug them up and we've moved them to a new patch, which I swore I wasn't going to do this year. I didn't want another bed, but we needed a space for our irises. So we ended up building up this space in front of the flower shed. And then we tilled it. So the space in front of the flower shed was very, very low. Like we had a pond here all season long from all of the rain that we had. So we used more of that driveway dirt that came up. We piled it in here. This was almost 4 loads of that dirt by itself, which it was a lot. We've tilled it and now we've started moving the irises into this bed. So the rest of the irises are waiting in the shed for me, and I'm going to be working on planting those today. So this is our haul of irises. They're all divided by variety. I can't remember how many we started with, but the ones that we had filled about 2/3 of the patch over in the peony row. And right now I've got 2 rows laid out. We're not going to be planting down the pathway down the center here, but even so, I don't know if these 2 rows are going to be big enough. Might have to plant a 3rd. We'll see. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just dividing all of these and counting them to see what I have to work with, figuring out whereabouts they're going to go, and then decide if I need to put down another row of fabric. We'll see. Okay, so everybody is divided and I've laid them out how I want them, with a little bit of space between every variety, which I'm really happy with. So I had enough room with the 2 rows and then some. So I'm very happy with that. So now I have to get to chopping them down a little bit, getting all those greens off and getting them in the ground. Well, I just finished planting my last few irises and it started to rain. It's not raining badly, but it's raining. So I'm just gonna get cleaned up here so that we're all nice and tidy. Got scraps everywhere. And then that project will be done for today. Sun's coming back out. We're all tidied up here now. And I thought I'd address the fact that some people are probably wondering why I decided to plant my irises in fabric. Last year I did not plant in fabric, and I had asked a bunch of people in a few Facebook iris groups if any of them had planted in fabric. The vast majority of people said no, they had not, and they did not recommend it. But a couple of people said that they had very successfully. So I went with the majority last year, and I did not plant in fabric. And pretty much anything I didn't plant in fabric this year, I really regretted it. The weed pressure here is just way too high. And we're trying to farm organically, so I'm not using any pesticides or anything. So I really need the fabric to help kind of keep that weed pressure down. But I also want the irises to be able to spread. So in the spring, my plan is that before the irises get too big, but after the roots have sort of established themselves, I am going to pull the fabric up and mulch over it pretty heavily. And I'm hoping that that will allow them to still spread, but in the meantime, over the winter, kill off any dormant seeds that are just kind of laying in there. And hopefully that helps with the weed pressure a little bit next year. We'll see. So that's it for today, you guys. If there's anything that you saw today that you want me to dig into more, let me know. I'm happy to do more videos like this. Okay, bye.